my channel and welcome to another book review. Today I am reviewing Liane Moriarty's What Alice Forgot. Now, Liane Moriarty is fast becoming one of my favourite authors. The story begins with Alice having had a fall in a step aerobics class. She's hit her head and in doing so she has lost her memory of the last 10 years. The last thing she really remembers is being madly in love with her fiance, being newly pregnant with her first child and having a really close relationship with her sister. Fast forward 10 years and obviously as she starts to put pieces of her life and the last decade back together, it transpires that she is a very busy, and she doesn't really like being described as busy, she is a very busy mother of 3. She is going through quite a messy divorce and she doesn't really speak to her sister anymore. So obviously a lot has changed in that decade. She doesn't really like herself. She's not particularly proud of the person she's become. I'm quite trapped and almost a little bit claustrophobic by Alice having lost all of these memories and having to piece it all back together. I think Moriarty is such a good writer that you actually feel how the main character is feeling. So I really felt that anxiety that Alice was feeling in terms of not knowing what her children have in their packed lunch for school, for example, or how late they're allowed to stay up. Because obviously 10 years before that, and the memory that she has, she hadn't had a child. She was pregnant with her first child. She had no idea. This book really makes you think. It's very thought-provoking, and I think that's what I like about Liane Moriarty books. I'm starting to enjoy things that I can get my teeth into a little bit more, and also something where I feel like I've learned something after having read the book. And so this book really gave me an insight into probably 2 main areas, 2 quite sensitive topics. So obviously the first one is memory loss, and that is the sort of main focus of the book. But then there's also, alongside that main storyline, there is the story of Alice's sister, who is going through round after round of failed IVF. And it's very insightful into how emotional that process and that journey can be. There's also this sort of underlying motto, if you will, that runs through the book about not sweating the small stuff, looking at the big picture, thinking about those big questions. As with all Liane Moriarty books, this was very well written. The characters were really well developed. I got into it really quickly. I started to think of the characters again as people that I know in real life. For me, that is a sign of a very good book. I think you probably know by now that I really enjoyed this book. Overall, I am going to give this 8.5 out of 10. The next book I'm reading is something a little bit different. I like to mix up my books. So this is Sally Rooney, Conversations with Friends. Now, I feel as though Sally Rooney was the author that everyone was talking about earlier this year. And I have had this book and her other book, which I think is called Normal People, on my bookshelf for at least 4 or 5 months now, and I've just never picked it up. I'm not sure why I'm not being drawn to it, but anyway, I have bitten the bullet and this is what I'm reading now. I'm about 50 pages in, so far so good. Very different to what I would normally read, I must say, but yeah, I'm interested to see where it goes. If you're interested to see what I think of this book, and you haven't already subscribed, please press that little red button below. And if you enjoyed this speedy book review, please give it the thumbs up because it honestly makes all the difference to me. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and I hope to see you again next week. Take care. Bye.